Aloha. And welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Honolulu. We are the beloved community, boldly growing compassion, justice, and joy. Whether in person or online, we are glad you are here. I don't know if we can see the folks online or not. I don't think so this morning, but there you are. And so you're so small, I still can't see you. So welcome. I see Esther, I see me, I see the congregation. Sheila, Judy Casey. Well, those of you I can't read, welcome anyway. I'm so sorry I can't see that well. So whether you're in person or online, I'm really glad you're here. Welcome. Are there any visitors here this morning from the mainland? Or just from here visiting us for the first time? Or maybe you used from abroad? You'd like to stand and introduce yourselves? We just have homegrown people here this morning. That's great. Welcome, everyone. My name is Catherine Graham, and my pronouns are she, her. I have the honor of being your worship associate today with our worship leader, Reverend Deborah Von Dobson, for whom I'm so grateful. And I'm looking forward to your message today. We extend aloha to all for choosing our congregation to worship in today. Let us light our chalice to begin our worship service. Blessed is the fire that burns deep in the soul. It is the flame of the human spirit touched into being by the mystery of life. It is the fire of reason, the fire of compassion, the fire of community, the fire of justice, the fire of faith. It is the fire of love burning deep in the human heart, the divine glow in every life. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that was the next hello. Sorry about that. Well, thank you for reading, those of you who did. Please stand and join in our first hymn, the song of the month, My Spirit Belongs to the Sky.
Ian. time reshapes the mind, youth brings quick leaps, bright risks, and a world already wired and glowing. Age brings lived experience, pattern recognition, softer edges, and a different kind of courage. Between them lies a continuum, an invitation. And why consider this continuum of experience from birth to death, from youth to elder? What's the relevance today? To me, this is a time of great divisiveness. We are challenged to look most profoundly at what can bring us together. We can feel divided by where we live, gender, sexuality, race, ethnicity, our income, education, our addictions and physical capabilities, and more. But there are many factors in how we develop, how we grow and age that are common to all in our species. And challenges related to stages of development can actually recur over one's life. So common challenges, developmental tasks in growing, we each face in our lifespan, and these can bring us together. A deeper look at these challenges and the gifts of each stage can enable us to be more appreciative, supportive, and edified by others in other stages. I'm thinking about the experience of being young, about what young people do for the community that moves it forward and promotes joy. I'm thinking about the experience of aging, not the predictable kvetching about it, but the actual satisfaction that comes from understanding, wisdom, and confidence. What these gifts can do for our community if honored and understood. I'm actually not going to be able to tell you everything. Oh, I'm sorry. It is time to release the children to spirit play. I apologize. We just love to have the young people with us. We can't bear to see you go. Thank you, Peg. One of the gifts that I get from being minister of this church is that I am entitled to read and research and dig deeply into topics. And I find it delicious. I hadn't had this real, opportunity since grad school to constantly each week be digging into subjects. But a problem for you all is I might have too much information. So this week I tried something new, and I've never actually seen a minister do it. I made a brochure about this service, and I printed enough for any of you who want to go to the talk story afterwards, or if you just want it, you can come ask me. But this is because sometimes, like my friend Janice will say to me after the service, Deborah, I love that, but I really couldn't hear all of it, and I couldn't remember all of it. So Janice, this is for you. So I dug into the psychologists and the sociologists, and I looked at trends about development, everything from Freud and Montessori, Piaget, Maslow, Erikson, Fowler, and Seligman, and more, and looked into the realms of psychology. But the trends that we're going to talk about in this service today, and most of the ones that are in this brochure, are informed a bit by all those others, but they're mainly based on Erik Erikson. How many of you have read Erik Erikson? What a Unitarian congregation. But in addition to the sociologists and the psychologists, I wanted to think about youth and aging in more poetic terms. So, and you may know by now that I love to go into the literature and poetry, so I looked at Shakespeare, and I looked at Anne Shopstead, and I looked at William Blake and Yeats, and I looked at Maya Angelou and a whole slew of poets. But I kept finding that their depiction of age was really old. You know, they're really thinking of the things we kvetch about, and they were mostly lacking a real understanding of something that I have felt gifted by once I became old, which some people told me happened a few years ago. But, and that's more what I want to talk about. I want to talk about what's really beautiful and wonderful and empowering about being old, and what is really wonderful and beautiful and empowering about being an infant, a toddler, an adolescent, a young middle age, a young age, a middle age, a young elder, and an old elder. Each of these developmental stages have tasks before them, challenges and questions. And we get to live through them, and we get to share with each other as we live through them. But in looking at the poets, I found one in particular I wanted to share with you. So I asked Catherine if she would read this poem by Czesław Miłosz, who's a Polish poet who won the Nobel Prize for Literature. And this poem is called Late Ripeness. And because it's impossible to understand a deep poem the first time you hear it, she's going to read it, and then I'm going to give you an explication that comes from reading it 15 or more times. Catherine.
Can I give this to you? I'm sorry. Thank you. Late Ripeness by Czesław Miłosz. Not soon, as late as the approach of my 90th year, I felt a door opening in me, and I entered the clarity of early morning. One after another, my former lives were departing, like ships, together with their sorrow. And the countries, cities, gardens, the bays of seas assigned to my brush came closer, ready now to be described better than they were before. I was not separated from people. Grief and pity joined us. We forget, I kept saying, that we are all children of the King. For when we come from where we come from, there is no division into yes and no, into is, was, and will be. We were miserable. We used no more than 100th part of the gift we received from our long journey. Moments from yesterday and from centuries ago, a sword blow, the painting of eyelashes before a mirror of polished metal, a lethal musket shot, a caravel staving its hull against a reef. They dwell in us, waiting for a fulfillment. I knew always that I would be a worker in the vineyard, as are all men and women living in the same time, whether they are aware of it or not.
Late Ripeness is about an old man awakening very late in life to a new spiritual and moral clarity in which his past, his suffering, and his vocation all fall into place. Awakening late in life, the opening door, the clarity of early morning suggest a sudden inner illumination, arriving around his 90th year, not in youth. His former lives depart like ships, meaning earlier identities and sorrows lose their grip and drift away without bitterness. Shared suffering and community help him realize he is not separated from people. He's joined to others in grief and pity, which signals a deepened solidarity with all who suffer. The poem moves from a focus on the self to a sense of human community, a community of those who suffer, softening ego and isolation. Mystical unity and time are shown in the lines about place where we come from, having no division into yes or no, or is or was or will be. They point to a mystical unity beyond linear time and simple moral binaries. This may be an intuition of a deeper divine ground where all times and all lives are held together. In aging, he acknowledges how little of our inner richness and capacity for love we actually live out. How little capacity we actually live out. He is pointing to the understanding that age has brought that could enable greater richness and love. And that is the point of this service today, to share in what each life stage brings us individually and what each life stage can bring to us as a community, with an aim to realize the benefits of this life more, even as we live it. And now, would you rise or stay seated to join us in singing "Gather the Spirit" by Jim Scott.
This church is our place to experience the depth of life together. This book stands for lives we share within our beloved community, and it lives right over here on the table right as you're entering the sanctuary. Some of us share our joys or our concerns in this book. Others see the book and know that they can share their joys and concerns freely here in the gallery with one another after the service, in workshops with wise leaders from afar, with our minister, Reverend Deborah Bond Upson, or with our members of the care committee, who are Nancy Schultz and Gabe Teoconco and Jim Lopresti. And Martina. Welcome back, Martina. And now we can share our joys and concerns and learn of the cares of others in our community, in our newsletter, and on our website. So the Book of Life stands for all the ways we can share our cares and concerns here. So I don't have anything in the Book of Life this week, but I do know that Janice Davis has shared that she has become a great-grandmother. On April 9th, and it was a 2-day belated birthday present for her because she celebrated her 86th birthday also this month. And so now she can be called a great-grandma. So it's Theodore and the baby are doing, Theodore and the mother are doing well. Also this week, we shared a birthday with our AV guru, Ian Velasic. So happy birthday, Ian. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ian. Happy birthday to you. We usually start with our concerns and our sorrows, but I was so excited about the joys that I'm afraid I forgot those. So we don't have any in our Book of Life, but if anyone does have any sorrows that you would like to share with us now, or concerns in addition to all the wars that are currently going on, please feel free, as I pass my hand across the sanctuary, to just speak them out aloud.
Fascism in shelters.
And did you lose your glasses, Sorka?
Yeah.
So there's a concern.
No,
Sorka.
I ordered some.
Oh, okay. Sorka is without her glasses today. Okay, good. Thank you. That's a concern, though. That's true. Good that you're getting them replaced.
Also, my eyes have improved, like literally by a point and a half.
Wow. Okay.
First time in my life.
Thank you, Sorka. Thank you, everybody. The bitterness and sweetness, the concerns and joys of life remind us to share these days together. The brave adventure and the holy understanding we share in this journey echo today, as they always do in the Book of Life and in the hearts we each bring to share here today. And may it always be so. So it is our custom here at the First Unitarian Church of Honolulu to share our weekly offering with a group whose mission is in concert with our own. Because we support our congregation through pledges and rental income, we can be generous and give 100% of our non-pledge funds collected today to our organization of the month, which is Hui Mahi'ai Waimanalo Homeless Village, also known as Auntie Blanche's. Our social justice team members have been working with Auntie Blanche for quite a while now, and she has a village in Waimanalo that was pretty devastated during these last floods. There was a little tent village that certainly got wiped out. There are little kauhale houses that just were, floating in mud. And so we're collecting money today, as well as canned food. And you can see outside on our shelf out there, a place to deposit your food donations. So when the calabash comes by, please give generously, or use this QR code on the screen, or text the church to share the plate. And then you can put in share the plate or emergency fund or even pledge. So we love to make it easy for you to give us money. Let us give freely now and receive with great gratitude. from the bottom of my heart. This goes out to our community from all of us here. Thank you. Please rise and join in singing hymn number 108, My Life Flows On in Endless Song.
I just love that line about tyrants trembling. I'm trying to imagine the tyrants trembling. So now we are here to talk about hearts and minds and souls continuum. Ian? We're going to talk about these dimensions: the heart, emotional patterns from raw infant feelings toward compassion, gratitude, and calm that ripens in later years. Confidence, often shaken in youth, but the self-esteem arc is growing, strengthened through adulthood, peaking around 60, and graciously slipping into a bit more acceptance. Anxiety, worry, and fear, youth fearing rejection and silencing, elders fearing losing capability and being left behind by technology and losing independence. The brain, cognitive growth, learning, memory, processing all we see. The soul, including meaning and purpose, from basic trust and identity questions in midlife to generativity and elder blessing, and sexuality, embodied connection from early curiosity, adolescent awakening, to tender, trust-centered intimacy in later life. And each of these stages has main tasks and main questions that occur to us as we go through. In infancy, it's basic trust and safety. Can I trust the world is in the infant's being. Early childhood is about autonomy versus shame. Is it okay to be myself, to do for myself? Adolescence, identity. Who am I and where do I belong? Young adulthood, intimacy. Can I truly share myself with another? Midlife, generativity. Does everyone know the word generativity? It's a wonderful word I discovered in reading about all these psychologists, and it means being a creative, making anything, not necessarily art, whatever it is, but being of ideas and of completion rather than being stagnant. So the generativity is something we want to have in our lifetime. And if we do, when we ask ourselves, does my life matter beyond myself, we'll know I was at work, I was at play, I was encountering, I was making. And then later in life, it's integrity. Was it okay to have been me? Did I do enough? Did I give enough? Will they remember? Ian? Now this chart might be a little hard for you to see, but I want to comfort you that those of you who really want to know about it, if you turn this sideways, you can see the chart in the brochure later. But the idea of this is just to give you an idea of the basic trends. You know, you can see that if you look at where you end up on the right-hand side, soul, spirit, heart, confidence, brain, anxiety, sexuality, the elders are at the peak of soul and spirit near the end. If you look at infancy, the infants also are more attuned to soul and spirit, which goes down through life and then back up again. So it may be interesting for you to trace these different trends. When you're in early adulthood, you've just passed beyond the high anxiety of adolescence. Adolescence is at its peak in anxiety. So you go down a bit and your brain is still coming up. So early adulthood, our brains are at the top. But our brains are not as informed by those other things that we've learned in aging until we get toward elder, and that's why our soul comes up. So I would love you to explore these ideas and think about where you are. And we don't all go in chronological order exclusively that way. We may find as an elder, we suddenly have a lot of anxiety, more than we're thinking. Or we may find we found love again. Who knows? But look at these things. Ian? So what do the youths bring to us? Quick leaps, bright risks in a world already wired and glowing. Their behavior is developmentally right, not reckless. And when given real responsibility, their heart and confidence grow. Ian? So breaking it down, as a youth, the youths lend heat to our society. Their heart is intense and reactive with a vivid emotional life, quick leaps, bright risks, urgency. The brain is fast but still wiring judgment, sharp speed but still forming self-control. Confidence, fragile and searching, identity still forming, self-doubt common. Sexuality is awakening, curiosity, hormones, and the discovery of desire. Anxiety is high, especially about belonging, the fear of rejection, silencing, and not keeping up with a world already wired and glowing. The soul and spirit, for a youth wrestling with identity and purpose, the deep "who am I" questions. So when we're relating to youths, we can bear in mind this is the stage they're in, which we also enjoyed, complete with all the anxiety, and we can empathize. Ian? What do the elders bring? They bring lived experience, pattern recognition, softer edges, and a different kind of courage. What do we mean by pattern recognition? When they see behaviors happen, when they see news, they have seen it before. They know a little bit about what caused it. They know a little bit about what might happen next. Their caution reflects a lifetime of learning. And when they are treated as keepers of memory, their soul and confidence are nourished. Ian? Elders lend light. Different slide, Ian. The heart is more regulated and grateful. There are softer edges, emotional wisdom ripened through lived experience. The brain is slower in speed, richer in pattern recognition, and in crystallized wisdom. Confidence peaks around 60, settled, gracious self-acceptance born of a life fully lived. The sexuality is quieter, but often more tender, intimacy and trust over performance. Anxiety, still there, fear of losing capability, tech exclusion, cognitive decline, dependence, anxiety about being left behind. The soul and spirit of the elder is working on reconciliation, legacy, and blessing the next generation. And bless you, Ian, for finding that slide. Next. Between the youth and elder, there lies a continuum, and I also feel it as an invitation. Between youth's electric urgency and elder's spacious, nuanced way of seeing lies not a gulf, but a continuum, and both belong to the same story. Ian? I see it as an invitation to appreciate our own and others' place in this continuum, weaving heat from the youth and light from the elders into one faithful community. Close the distance, untangle misunderstandings. Our current tasks are not character flaws, they are stages of development. Focus and capabilities arise from the same humanity at different points in the same continuum. Ian? So what causes the generational tension? The youths have fears about exclusion. They're afraid they won't be empowered. They're afraid they won't be given the rights and responsibilities. The elders are afraid of being pushed aside, being made irrelevant by their age. Independence. The youths are afraid they will not be allowed. The elders are afraid they will not be able. Pace. The youths are full of energy, labeled as recklessness. And the elders, our hard-won wisdom slows their pace. Legacy. The youths have to wonder, what planet will they have as they age? And we elders have to think, what will we leave? Did we do enough? What can we do? Ian. And that brings us to think about what are the unique intergenerational gifts that we can hope for when we build an intergenerational congregation here. Youths bring that electric urgency and passion for change, while the elders bring lived experience and that pattern recognition so we can be more successful together. In vision, youths have bright ideas, fresh vision, and the elders see what they've known and share it. The mind, the cognitive flexibility and speed of the youths is there, but the elders bring crystallized wisdom, meaning it's really right there. When things happen as an elder, you know what's happening in a way you couldn't when you were younger. Energy, that creative energy of young people with fresh questions can drive us forward, and The soul depth with integrity and blessing drives the elders. So what is sacred in these youths and elders? The youths have a holy restlessness that drives an engine of change, and the elders bring a holy patience with wisdom of the ages. Ian? What I hope for here at UU Honolulu in these turbulent times is that we will create a new value, enjoying the depth of each other and the gifts that we each bring, interweaving worth right here. So I'd like you to imagine, you see, these are some of the activities, some of the ways of being that I see we could embody right here in our congregation. And I'd like you to just imagine for a moment, you can close your eyes if you want or not. Imagine that we have in our church a hopeful theology of aging, that here in our church we know the gifts that our elders bring. We know if we consult, they will bring something from a past we did not live, and we can share it. And they can feel empowered by this. Imagine you are an adolescent, and this congregation helps to normalize anxiety. This congregation recognizes that there are reasons for adolescents to have anxiety, and we build support. We build responses that help these people to grow, these youths to grow. Imagine that in our congregation we build real roles for youths, that they can play a part in our social justice team, even if they're still in high school. Imagine that they can have a role in our worship service. Imagine that their role is real, that it's not trivial, not made up, that we value their empowerment. Imagine that we share late life growth stories, that here in our congregation, we have times when we can listen to what some of us have learned in our lives and make meaning together over these late life growth stories. Imagine that we develop intergenerational spaces, maybe story circles that people can come to share what they've learned, what they feel, what they believe, what they want. Maybe we develop mentorships with elders leading youths. Maybe we develop tech assistance with youths helping the elders who come to church baffled by their telephones. And imagine that we truly honor youthful urgency, that we hear their fear about a planet that may not be livable to them. Imagine that we feel the brightness of their energy and the sharpness of their need to keep this democratic country healthy for them so they might have children someday. If we honor that youthful energy, that youthful urgency, it can drive our social justice, knowledge, activity, and community so that we can be effective and be helpful within our church, but without our church throughout. So today, I'm going to close with a poet and a poem who I believe acknowledges the unique aspects and stages of life, from infants and youths to adolescents, adults, and elders. And that is The Miracle of Morning by Amanda Gorman. I thought I'd awaken in the morning into a world in mourning, heavy clouds crowding, a society storming. But there's something different in this golden morning, something magical in the sunlight, wide and warming. I see a dad with a stroller taking a jog. Across the street, a bright-eyed girl chases her dog. A grandma on the porch fingers her rosaries. She grins at her young neighbors, and they bring in her groceries. While we might feel small, separate, and all alone, our people have never been more closely tethered. The question isn't, will we weather this unknown, but how we will weather this unknown together. So on this meaningful morn, we mourn and we mend. Like light, we cannot be broken, even when we bend. As one, we will defeat both despair and disease. We stand with healthcare heroes and all employees, with families, libraries, schools, waiters, artists, businesses, restaurants, and hospitals hit hardest. We ignite not in the light, but in lack thereof, for it is in loss that we truly learn to love. In this chaos, we will discover clarity. In suffering, we must find solidarity. It is our grief that gives us our gratitude, shows us how to find hope if we ever lose it. So ensure that this ache wasn't endured in vain. Do not ignore the pain. Give it purpose. Use it. Read children's books. Dance alone to DJ music. Know that this distance will make our hearts grow fonder. From a wave of woes, our world will emerge stronger. We'll observe how burdens braved by humankind are also the moments that make us humans kind. Let every dawn find us courageous, brought closer, heeding the light before the fight is over. When this ends, we'll smile sweetly, finally seeing, in testing times, we became the best of beings. I want to remind you that I'll have the brochures for you. After the service, we'll have a talk story. How many people are going to do the talk story today? So I think that means we can meet in the study and we're going to have plenty of brochures. Would you now join us, seated or standing, lift your voices for the song, We Would Be One.
Now we'll share our community news and events. Our annual Unitarian Universalist General Assembly is coming up in June. This year it's going to be in Wisconsin, and I honestly don't remember if it's Milwaukee or Madison. If anybody knows, yell it out. Okay. But you can also attend remotely. We are allowed 2 voting members in the business meetings of this General Assembly, and if anyone is interested in being a delegate, please contact Sue Yamani Carpenter, our board president, and let her know. She's right over there. Next week's service is called Revolutionary Optimism, and it's our own Zach Frazier who's going to be speaking. And I have to say, I'm extremely biased, as you all know, but I just want to say that this is a great example of what Deborah was talking about this morning, of the youth and the elders and how we can learn from one another. And here's our opportunity to learn from someone who's a bit younger than the rest of us. Thank you, Sorka. And I also want to say and let everybody know that it takes a village to put on a Sunday service. So I want to thank you to Dave Hafner for doing the parking, to Lorraine Fay and Helen Slaughter, thank you, my senior brain, for being greeters. Marie Ann and Leanne McIntyre and Nan Porterfield and Allison Sizik for helping with hospitality. We have childcare, we have Erin and Sari and Shay and our RE team upstairs with the children. And to let you know that anyone who wants to get involved in any of these things is welcome. So please talk to Deborah, or talk to me, or talk to anybody that you want to talk to and let them know, and we'll all get the message. Oh, decorations. Thank you very much. Teresa Morligan did the decorations. We've got Noe Baledad on choir and piano, and our great choir that has just added a member. So you can know that you can come and sing with us anytime. Our choir rehearsals are Wednesday night, 6 to 7:30, and please come and join us. And Molly Rowland, who's in charge of all of our greeters and who is here every Sunday morning helping get everything organized. And there's no one else left. You're all who are sitting there. I don't know what you're doing, so come on, get involved. Okay, so immediately after the service, we hope you'll join us in the gallery right next door for coffee and refreshments and good conversation. So let us extinguish our chalice. Please read with me. Our chalice stands for us, for our desire for enlightenment, constantly curious, uplifted by love. Our chalice stands for us, beckoning others to rely on us, feeling the light within us. We live in fairness, respect, and love. May it be so. So please stand and join hands if you're willing to sing our song of peace, Hawaii Aloha.